Hello, YouTube watchers. Today, what I want to talk about is for everyone in the world. You have rights, and they're human rights. Now, I'm gonna again tell you things of real events that are still going on to the lady I love, who is American, and to the man she loves, me, who is Canadian. Now, on both sides of the border, they give us problems. They interfere with our right to free will and to pursue happiness on both sides of the border. This is fact. Where does a government think that they are allowed to tell us which form we should have and how much money we should pay to marry and be together? None. No one has that right. Read who these people, these public servants, pledge their allegiance to, and what their code of ethics say. The oaths, CBP, you know what they've done to me. The last time I went, I was not informed correctly, and in fact our understanding was that if I had stayed 6 months in America, which I did, that you left for 2 weeks and came back, they might think that's suspicious, but they didn't say clearly that you're only allowed to pursue happiness with the one you love in life for only 6 months in a 12-month period. And you know what they did to me? Right in front of my American lady who pays taxes and who today was told to stop pledging the allegiance. Yes, that's right. Her allegiance is to God now. She's a public servant. She's a school teacher. She no longer will sit there and pledge the allegiance. For the obstruction, she knows. I was 6 months in America. I committed no crime. I did nothing wrong ever in America. And yet, they fingerprint me right at the border and treated me like I was a criminal. And CBSA, well, if you've watched my other videos, you know what they've done to my wife. But I stand up for her. And they always let her into Canada. Well, things are changing now. The day they obstruct her anymore from coming into Canada is the day, like I said, I'm going to subpoena her here. Because we represent ourselves. And in order for us to go to court, we have to work together on this. I will subpoena her. Whether I'm right or wrong or lose in court, we're still going to get that time together. CBSA, CBP, you will never find us carrying drugs or weapons or laundering money or human trafficking. And we're getting tired of the obstruction just to be together. Let me tell you something. My lady, I love her. And not one American helps her with her home that she lives alone in. But when I was there 6 months, and the last time I was at CBP, and they refused me entry. The officer had gall to say, what do I do? Just sit around and watch TV. Well, I was fixing up a house that was going to ruins and killing a taxpayer of America. There was mold leaks in the house, leaks with the pipes, leaks in the foundation, trees covering the house so that the sunlight couldn't get at it. Oh yes, I did all that by hand. 6 months I worked there for my love, for her health. And I worked hard. And that's wrong. I didn't get paid for that. I didn't receive that evil paper. Ask me so. I have to ask, when your money says "In God we trust," when you say that, does that make you feel like you just went to church? Read the part about the coin of Caesar in the Bible and what it says. We have a right to religion. And we're going to fight in every which way. We're going to find every which way to be together. Okay? Without being obstructed. We have free will. We have the right to pursue happiness in love and peace. When borders expect us to lie, in fear we're not going to get together, we're not going to lie. We never lie. And yet other people say, lie. No, that's not who we are. That's not what we stand up and believe in. That's not why we are fighting for our rights. And we shouldn't have to fight. Too many people lost their lives for our freedom already. And we're still fighting to this day and age. The history of Canada. Okay, let's start with our $10 bill. They're now taking the first Prime Minister of Canada off that bill. Or they're leaving him on, or they're making bills with other people on it. But let me tell you about this man. Okay, this is true. Sir John A. Macdonald, the first Prime Minister of Canada, called the indigenous people savages. Between him and the British soldiers, okay, guess what they did? They went in and murdered these people. Killed them, raped them, and burned their villages to the ground. That's how Canada started off. With hate. Do we see it getting any better to this day? There's hate in both countries. You wonder why? Think about it, right? This isn't spreading false news or fake news. All the evidence is there. We're getting tired of being obstructed. We're starting to see the light. And we will stand strong. And for anyone who does not believe in rights or think you have to fight for them, no, you don't. Just watch all the YouTube videos of what's going around. Just Google in YouTube, "Am I being detained?" videos. You have rights. America and Canada, you both have rights. My lady was born in America, and I was born in Canada. So, guess what that makes? That makes us not terrorists. And we have a right to stand up for what we believe that the God gives us. A lot of hypocrisy going on within our government and the people, and the brainwashing and manipulation. You keep giving me a hard time. Is that going to make me peaceful? Is that going to make my lady peaceful? Is that going to make us happy? When all we want to do is be together, and we know God doesn't say we have to pay to love and be together? I'm confused. If Americans have an amendment right, a right to religion, and belief. And Canadians have a charter of right to religion and belief. Then why is it not being respected? Did we cause any harm on either side of the borders when we're together? No. But is it making us happy? The obstruction and the anxiety the system is causing us? Is that right? Is that the way to live life? No. If I'm going to fight for something, you bet your asses I'm going to fight for love and peace and free will, to live life freely in peace and love with my wife. I stand on the land. I stand on the sea. I pledge my allegiance to God and only God. And now my wife, a public servant, a school teacher, will not speak the allegiance anymore. Her allegiance is to God and only God. And like I said, we're getting fed up. If it's a fight you want, we will fight. It's not a lie. I've shown already I stand on the land. We have a right to be together. We have broken no laws. And we will not put up with this obstruction too much longer. And remember, we have a right to sue for obstruction, interference with our right to pursue happiness and love. Really, when someone sues, where does it come from? Your tax dollars too. When you put people in jail, where does that come from? Tax dollars, right? Well, I've broken no law in America. Teresa's broken no law in Canada. And yet they treat us like we're common criminals at both sides of the border. We're going to stand up. And if the news media don't want to cover the court case, well, guess who's going to cover it? Our friends. And they're going to show the public just how right I am. You'd only be a fool to believe that you have to pay about $1,800 American money to go over to American as a Canadian or a Mexican or, another traveler just to pursue your right as a human being to happiness and free will. So their doctors can check you out and no, I don't contract that way. God doesn't tell me I have to, and I refuse to. You know how many Mexicans cross the American border and they get caught over and over and over again? They're not breaking no law. If they were breaking a law, they would be stuck in jail the rest of their life, right? They get released back into their country. Whether they cross the imaginary borders like Canada and America have. At least I go to the border to show my honesty that I'm not going or carrying weapons or drugs or anything. When we know we could just walk over those borders that are undefended. And if I get caught, I get sent back and I go back in like a Mexican. And I love the Mexicans. They're hard-working people. They do jobs in both Canada and America that our own Canadians and Americans don't want to do. And they're pursuing their dream. They're pursuing their right to happiness. They are human. I am human. You are human. And until you breathe different air than me, or think you don't need that air to breathe and live, or that water, or that food, then come tell me I'm wrong. You are not protecting your borders. You don't protect yourselves. An officer in Chicago was shot, sitting talking to someone. Now maybe I'm seeing something here, like I said in other videos. You work alone. You're in more harm's way than doing good for your community. At one time, there was 2 cops in a vehicle. One would be driving, one could keep lookout and watch the streets. Watch his partner's back. I believe that cop would be here today had there have been another cop, another officer sitting in that car with that Chicago police officer who lost his life. Huh? I believe. Had there have been another officer with him, he may have still been around. So when you think that I'm the bad guy for standing up for my rights, think again. I'm not the one holding the gun. I'm not the one trafficking the drugs or laundering the money or human trafficking. I'm not into child pornography. I'm into God, and I'm into love and the pursuit of happiness with my wife. And if you think obstructing us and our right to free will to pursue that is going to make us happy and peaceful, you better think again. I got the blood of Jesus Christ in me, and I will fight. Is this a threat? Do you think this is a threat, that I want to cause you harm when I say I'm going to fight? No, I'm fighting for my rights. I don't hold a weapon, so don't manipulate it, officer. Okay? You and your suspicions obstructing us. Really, this isn't the way life was intended. And if you're unhappy at your job, officer, at your border, because you go down to a bank and you beg to get in debt, pay your mortgages and everything, don't take it out on me. I'm happy in my life. I'm happy. And I'm going to pursue my happiness with my wife. You want to provoke my anxiety and mental anguish and our hurt, and that's going to make us peaceful? Doesn't make sense. It won't make anyone peaceful. Especially when you know, and I know, there's many open spots in those borders we could just walk over and be together. But we choose to meet in the middle, unlike yous. We choose to go to those border points, those checkpoints, those obstructions. Okay? We choose to go to them to prove we're honest, good people. I will fight, and I will show people the truth. And there's many more out there that do the same. I will not be obstructed to be with my wife anymore. She will not be obstructed to be with me. Refuse her into Canada, and I will subpoena her here. It's my right to have her in court, to have her come around because it involves her best interest too. That's why we would go to court, for the pursuit of happiness and peace and love, free will, to be together. And it's the same for CBP. She will go down to the courts and subpoena me to go there, and we will work and represent ourselves, and we have a right to be together in person. So we have our facts and our case ready. So we have a fair trial and testimony. To tell me you have a right to take my fingerprints when I've broken no law in your country, that's obstruction. You're implying I'm a criminal, I'm a bad person. Well, in Canada, we usually fingerprint people when they've broken law. And we put them in jail. We don't consent to both sides of the border obstructing us in this manner anymore. Treating us like we're not even human. Don't ask me your silly questions anymore, because I have a right to legal counsel, being present. Teresa has a right to legal counsel, being present. This is going on and on and on and on and on and on and on. When will it end? We're not terrorists. What's wrong with you? You like to cause people mental anguish and anxiety and make them unhappy and put that hate in them? And it's not going to be ever the hate for each other. It's going to be the hate and the loss of faith in a government, in governments who are letting us down, taking away our right to pursue happiness and love and peace. No man, no woman has the right to do that. Read the Bible, learn it. It's true. God gives us that right. Not no man or woman. We choose our destiny, our fate. Not you. And if you want to keep putting that hate in people and that hurt, don't ever think you're going to see peace, right? Really? How will you see peace that way when you've hurt us? We're going to hate you for the rest of your life, even though God says to forgive. Well, I'm a sinner, like everyone else. I'm only human, and I have trouble forgiving. I have a lot of things I need to work on in life, as many of you do. I don't hide, nor will I ever hide. Just remember your right to free will and the pursuit of happiness, to love. Love. They treat us like we're criminals, like loving and peace is a wrong thing. Seriously. It's getting to the point of hate. Why would a government want us to hate the people that our tax dollars hire to defend our borders? Our tax dollars don't pay you to abuse abuse us in this manner anymore. No, that's not what we pay for. We pay you to do a job, and your job, you've taken it too far. You're putting hate in the people. I'm not the one putting the hate here in my heart. I feel the pain when you delay a woman that I love. And you don't treat her as a human being. You take away all her rights. I'm sorry. Every time you delay us, or you obstruct us from being together, without any criminal grounds, any reasoning, to obstruct two people in love, well, then you need to go look in the mirror, because you're not human. You've just kicked all our ancestors in the face on both sides of the border who fought for our freedoms, to pursue free will and our right to pursue happiness and love and be together. Don't obstruct us. Don't put that hate in the people. This is a North American continent. We have open borders. Maybe not your little checkpoints where you try to lead people to go. We were both born in the North American continent. We're not terrorists. We're not drug smugglers. We don't have weapons. We're not gun owners. These are things you might want to think about when you're putting the hate in people because you obstruct them to be together and pursue peace and happiness in love. It's coming. You want to push us to the point where we sue and take more money from the taxpayers and make everyone work harder. That kind of system, that way of thinking, lacks all intelligence. You have a good day, people of this world, YouTube watchers. Remember, Google this stuff on YouTube. There's many real stand-up people that fight for your rights every day, and they put these videos on YouTube to show you the truth. You have rights to live free and pursue happiness, to live in peace and love and harmony. And they're taking that away from us and filling us with hate. So watch those YouTube videos. Am I being detained? And then they'll give more suggestions of more videos. Watch the truth. Listen to key words. Like the jurisdiction is a powerful word. I do not consent. Listen to keywords. Know how to speak. Know how to stand up for your rights. I love you all.